Andy, it's Halloween and we just witnessed a thriller today in a 1-1 draw at USW Sports Park against Pontypridd Town. How do you assess your side's performance?
Well, it's good that the spectators and yourselves will have seen a really exciting, entertaining game. From a coach's point of view, it's not as exciting as that. It's a little bit, heart attack football and heart in your mouth at times when it's ever so tight. In terms of assessment, I thought really it was a game of two halves. The wind has affected the game. There's no two ways about that, but I think in the first half we were a little bit, insipid really. We were playing on the back foot rather than the front foot. We made one or two tiny changes at half time, implored the players to play on the front foot and defend on the front foot second half, and I thought, for 35 minutes of the second half they'd done that really well. Pontypridd came back into it late on when they're pushing for a goal, but we did really, really well. I'm really delighted. The effort, the enthusiasm, the ability, the quality to play more football, and yeah, it was an exciting game, good to watch, entertainment value very, very high. Just disappointed that obviously for the girls we've come a long way, we've not quite got the 3 points that we were after.
A lot of talking points were in the second half, starting with Caitlin Chapman, who had a brilliant performance today, to put it lightly. She had a free kick just before the one she scored where it hit the post, and then the following one killed right into the keeper's bottom left hand corner. We were looking really on top at that stage in the game.
Well, that's come 20 minutes into the second half, and we're really on top of the game at that stage, and you could sense that the goal was coming. As you said, she'd had a sighter before that where she'd hit the post, but credit for Caitlin. What she's done is she's brought that added quality to this team. She's been performing like that all season, so it's really pleasing to see her have such an impact and such an effective game today, and obviously she's capped that with the goal, so well done her.
And from that, Pontypridd were then on top themselves for a period of time, and they got that equaliser from point blank range. What did you think of that?
Well, it's disappointing because it's just come from a second phase. We've set them up on the first phase. We've allowed them to bundle their way through on the second phase, and you can't complain if the girl's scoring from 6 yards. You've just got to defend a little bit better and a little bit more smart, which we didn't. So, it is what it is. It's disappointing. The game should have been out of sight at that stage, 2 or 3-0. It wasn't, so you'd always run the risk of letting the opposition back in. Fair play to Fern and to Pontypridd. They've done their work. They've got themselves back in the game and they've scraped the points out of the game. So, I think they'll go away happy at the end that they've got away with one. We'll go away disappointed that maybe we let one slip.
The big talking point late on was the penalty that Lexi Harrison had, and just hit the crossbar. It was so close of maybe snatching all 3 points at that stage.
And don't forget, she'd had a shot before that as well, where she'd gone through, cut onto her left foot and pinged one in the top corner that's come down and bounced off the line, a la Jeff Hurst, 66. So she's been particularly unlucky today again. She's been a stalwart right the way through. Credit to her. She had another fabulous game again today. I think, to be fair to us, Lexi was a different second half. I thought she had a fantastic second half. She gave us that forward momentum to get us into this game and to get us ahead. She's just particularly been unlucky today. It is one of those things.
A player that I must mention again is Sarah Parks. A superb performance today, and late on in the game she kept off a brilliant chance to keep it level at that stage.
Yeah, I mean, you're right to point that out. We've mentioned that in the dressing room. She's never let us down. She's come in, she's done a brilliant job. A game that we could have won and should have won. We nearly lost in the end, but for her, and she's done absolutely brilliantly again for us. But that's the type of person she is. That's the quality that she brings, along with the others in the team. We're just pleased that she's with us.
The point takes us off the bottom of the table, and it's the first draw in the General Adrian Premier. How significant is the draw in terms of confidence for all the team?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because it's not just about the points. It's not the fact that we're off the bottom of the league. It's the 31st of October. Nothing happens on the 31st of October. It all happens in April and May. So the point moves us a step further forward, but it's about the performance. What the performance does is it demonstrates to us that we're moving forward, that we're progressing, and that we're there or thereabouts. If we'd have got 3 points today, everyone would be looking at that and thinking, particularly if we'd have won 2 or 3-0, which you could argue that maybe we should have done on the balance of play, but the fact that we're coming here, we're getting a point, we've got a point on the road, which is the first point on the road, that's positive. It's progress. It's a game that maybe we should have won and could have won, but I'm not too concerned about that. The pleasing aspect from my point of view is the sense of belief, the quality that the girls are showing, and the fact that, you know, we're all committing to this together.
Talking about the performances, they've improved week on week. How proud of you of that?
Well, it's testament, you know, I mentioned to Stuart in the pre-match press conference the work that Greg is doing, the work that Sarah's doing, the work that Nick Ledine's doing, along with myself. You know, it's testament to the team, it's testament to the insight that they bring, it's testament to the hard work that goes in behind all of the programmes and the game plans to get us to this stage. The fact of the matter is, we can have all of that, that can all look brilliant, but if the players then don't turn up and they don't bring their qualities to the game, then, you know, the game plan's not going to work. So, you know, it's a complete team effort at the moment. The dressing room are really, really tight. We're all moving in the same direction, and, you know, it's another step forward into next week, and hopefully we can deliver again next week and get some more points next week.
Moving on to next week, it's in context of the table, it's our biggest game of the season against Pontypridd Town. How big of a game is that for your players?
Well, like I've said before, you know, the next game's always the biggest game because that's what's in front of you. You know, if you're going to get nervous about a game, get nervous about the next one because that's what's right in front of you. So that's all it is. It's just another game. It just happens to be Pontypridd Town. It just happens to be 7th versus 8th. You know, we won't read in too much about that. The bottom line is Pontypridd Town have given us the biggest pace thing that we've had this season. So, you know, we might be 7th, they might be 8th. That doesn't matter. We know what threat they are. We know the goals that they can score. We know that if we don't do our work next week, then we're going to get turned over. So it's going to be a right challenge next week. We've got to play a whole lot better than we did at their place. And again, that's an opportunity for us and a challenge that I hope the dressing room should be relishing.